So it's a student-teacher relationship that is very special. And in Vedas, you will see in many Upanishads, it's always a dialogue between a student and a teacher. The student might be young, the teacher may be old. The student may be young, the student may be old, the teacher may be young. Age is not a bar for transmitting knowledge in Vedic.
The respect for the place, the sthan.
The sthanam is very important. So who is in the Gurusthanam is very important. You're all in Gurusthan today. So, and you're all going to do action in society. You're going to be studying, you're going to be doing this, doing that. So this all comes under karma. And you can do action, you can do action that is for yourself, you can do action that is for others. And the type of action that gives you chitta shuddhi, which is cleanliness of mind, is when you do action without a specific selfish motive. You can expect something, I want this to happen. But wanting that to happen for your own particular selfish motive as opposed to having a larger good usually doesn't result in cleansing your mind. It just results in a material temporary good for you, which is also okay, but it is not the final path. Shikshāvalli basically starts from where the Guru says, you need to chant. What do you chant? How do you chant? What are the rules? The yamas, niyamas, how do you say something? Pronouncing it, the grammar, the meter, the etymology, that's the rudiments of the word, the sound, right? From there, he starts and expounds into the highest of truths. And that's called Brahma Vidya or Atma Jnana, where you're essentially being taught the path to liberation. So, and one of the things you'll see here in Bhagavad Gita, if you've chanted it or heard it, is Krishna will say the same thing. He'll say Bhagavad Gita is just a gist of the Vedas. And shIkshavalli, in every Valli you will find the same thing. It's basically the same gist between a student and a teacher. They'll say, you can do this, it's good for you, but if you do that, you will attain liberation. You can do this, it's good for you, if you do that, it's... here they talk about what you need to do, who you need to be when you go out into the world, right? And it can be summarized in one word, character. So that's basically it. Who you are is going to determine how you do what you do. And if you are somebody who is, you don't have to worry about that thing, it's not going to hurt. In spite of it. Right. So, all other things will follow. And you'll see this in guys win the Eastern Conference Championship in the NHL or the Super Bowl. They'll all talk about character. They'll talk about how they followed this and how they worked hard. All of that is truth, simple truth, right? However, where they stop and where the Vedas don't stop is cautioning you about what material success brings. Material success is considered very sticky, right? It's like you apply gum on your body and you go and roll somewhere. Stuff will stick to you. It's very hard to make it unstick. It's very hard to do something without wanting more of it. And this is what the Vedic teaching will say. You need to be cautious. So, you can have material success, but then what do you do with all that? You'll see that all the guys who have really attained tremendous material success today are all guys who have essentially come to the same truth, which is Warren Buffett and Bill Gates. They're all giving it all away because they thought getting all of this is going to make them happy. And they found that it didn't really make them happy. Now giving it all away is going to make them happy. Right? So dhanam is the other thing that they talk about here. We'll talk about the various ways to do dhanam. Shraddhaya deyam, ashraddhaya deyam, shriya deyam, viya deyam. People have a conception of Hindu life, and Hinduism is a very selfish way of life, where people do their own thing. They don't particularly give 10% to their church. They don't have, that's not true. Because here, it doesn't mandate. Anything that is given out of, anything that's forced out of you is not true giving. And anything that is given, without wanting to give is also not true giving. So I say, whatever you can give, how much ever you can afford, whether it's time, money, effort, do it to your ability and do it well. That's all that's being asked. That's not, it's not a big deal. Just do what you can, but do it really with your heart. It might be as simple as taking a quarter a day, putting it in a small hundi in your house, and then when it fills up, counting that money, writing a check to your favorite organization. And say, hey, this is what I feel I wanted to contribute. I contributed daily 25 cents, and at the end of the month, I came up with this amount of money. So I write a check for that, and take all those quarters back, put them in another thing, start moving it over. It's, it gives you a lot of purity. It gives you, it cleans you. I don't want to take too much of time here. The 8th Anuvaka is really, in this thing, the very essence of Brahma Vidya. And not everybody in life is looking for liberation. Most people are hanging out here because they really like to hang out and they would want to come back for many more lives. But the 9th Anuvaka talks about how to get the adhikaram, how who can learn Brahma Vidya. Not everybody who aspires can learn it. You need to have cleanliness of mind, yamas, niyamas, ashtanga yoga, all of that path you need to have taken. And he talks about that, the teacher talks about that here. But the thing that I think is the essence of what they teach outgoing students is what the Gurukul just said, which is Satyam Vada Dharmanchara, which is, always speak the truth. And always do dharma, because it might be inconvenient, it might not feel like, it's so easy to go and say, I didn't submit this assignment because I had a car flat tire. It's easy, it's expedient, and you feel you can, but it's just not worth it, because it is a small lie today. Tomorrow, when you go to Wall Street, it'll be a bigger lie. It's just not worth it, because at the end of the day, the one person you have to live with is yourself. And the world doesn't really matter. The one person who counts for your liberation to you is you. Everything else is just temporary. Somebody who comes in your life, somebody who leaves your life. And it doesn't matter whether it's mother, father, wife, husband, children, they all come and go. They are all within the window of time. You happen to be, but they all are very important. But the one person you have to be able to live with is you. So that's a very important thing they talk about. He talks about penance, the study and the teaching of the Vedas. Sense control, study, teaching of the Vedas. Pacification of mind, study, teaching of the Vedas. You can see the gist of what's coming, right? Something, then study and teaching of Vedas. Which means all of these things are important, but everything has to be accompanied by the study of the Vedas and propagation of the Vedas. Because the only thing that stays true is if you propagate the truth. Otherwise, it just fritters away over generations. And 10 generations later, your great-grandchildren will be talking about how their great-grandmom went and had this thing that was called the Vedas. Some guy came and talked about something interesting. They had no idea what it is because nobody really propagated it. And that's lost, right? Krishna talks about it in the 4th chapter of the Gita also. He'll talk about how Vedavana Parantapa, and he'll be telling Arjuna. And this is in the other Yuga, right? Where he thought Vedas were gone. Now we are really talking about where Vedas are pretty much close to being gone. And the other thing which is unique to us is respecting parents as God. because for us we see God in everything. We see everything as God. And the one God that is pratyaksham for you, which is who's there in your life daily, every day when you wake up, are your parents. There is Surya Bhagavan, whenever he comes in New England. But other than that, your parents, your teacher, right? Matra Deva Bhava, Pitra Deva Bhava, Acharya Deva Bhava. Gurus are very important for us. And the one other thing we never talk about, here, but it used to be the culture is Atithi Deva Bhava. A guest. In Gurusthan you can see, anybody can go, you can have food. And then that is, it's, it looks unique here. It is not. It's supposed to be the norm, where when somebody comes, we immediately honor them, we give them what they need, because you never know who that person is, what they are here for, and how they will help you. It's a circle. People come, people go, but we are all an interconnected community, right? And the 11th Anuvaka, they talk about another thing, other than Matra Deva Pitra Deva Bhava. They use the word pramadithavyam, which means never swerve from. They'll say satyan pramadithavyam, like never swerve from the truth, because it is not worth it. Dharman pramadithavyam. Kushalan pramadithavyam. It is not like, if you have the option, speak the truth. That's not what is said. It says never swerve from it. So it might be difficult, but it is always worth it. And then he goes on to talk about purity, cleaning one's mental purity. Again, by talking about dhanam. So you can get all of this. One of the most important parts of Vedic life is that it allows for and accepts material success. There is an entire space in shIkshavalli we chanted, which is called Avahanti Homa, which is all about give me fame, give me money, give me, make me God, right? Make me the ruler of the earth. That's called Avahanti Homa. Anybody can do it, and anybody can get all of this. Let's assume all of us did this and all of us got everything we wanted. Now what? Right? That's the situation that Bill Gates is in. And he figured that none of that's going to make him immortal, and it's not going to even have his name written anywhere till he starts doing dana. So charity is very understated in our daily lives. You guys should find ways to contribute. That is. So, a true Vedic lifestyle is very hard here, but you can follow. Vedas are called Mata and Pita. So, the Vedas are like your mother and like your father. It is very affectionate. It enjoins you, it beseeches you, it begs you to do things. Not because, it makes Vedas happy. It's because you will be happy. Right? Because all people want is happiness, right? And you think, I want to go, I'll get an iPod, I'll be happy. I'll get an iPhone 5, I'll be happy. And you get an iPhone 5, 3 days later, you're like, hey, I had to reboot this thing, I'm not very happy. Or, this app is not working, I'm not very happy. Or something like this. This talks about what true happiness is. And so in a traditional context, anybody who is graduating out of this, a traditional school and is following the Vedic Dharma, becomes a Dvija, just twice born, right? The first birth is a mere mortal birth, where we are really no different than animals in that we want to eat, we want to enjoy things, and there is nothing that is rule-based that says, oh, I won't do this, I will not do that. You can go ask a cow or a tiger. It won't say, I won't do this, because all it knows is, if I'm hungry, I'm going to go eat, I'm going to go sleep. And then we move on to becoming more than that. And that we do when we dedicate our lives to Dharma. And Acharya Shankara has a very beautiful quote on this, and the essence of which is basically we are really no different than animals. It's called Ahara Nidra Bhayamaitanam cha Samanyameta Pashubir Naranam Dharmo Hitesham Adhiko Vishesha Dharmena Hinaha Pashubit Samanaha. So Aharam is food, Nidra sleep, Bhayam fear, Maitanam procreation. These four are common to all animals. Samanyameta, all those are Samanya, common to Pashubihi and Narana, for animals and human beings. Dharmo Hitesham Adhiko Vishesha. The only thing that is different between animals and humans is adherence to Dharma. Dharmena hinaha pashubis samanaha. So those who do not adhere to Dharma are no different than animals. So the essence of this is that it's very easy, it is always easy to be free of rules and free of a dharmic code of life, but you're not progressing anywhere. You might think you'll attain material success and this and that, but there's no real spiritual progress till you follow a dharmic way of life. So with that, I'll conclude. My congratulations to all of you, and may the blessings of Jagadguru Acharya always be with you. I have a picture of Acharyas for all the graduating students. If I'll give it to you, you might distribute it to them. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.